What's up, everybody? My name's Emma Slinky here, and today, guys, we're gonna go through all the things on Bloom SMP between 1.20, 1.9, and 1.20, 1.11. Today, guys, there's a lot of things that there's even a couple little updates that I want to talk about in the 1.20, 1.11 update once it comes out, once we get to it. But first, guys, we gotta jump to all the things that we know on the server. Well, today we jump up from 1.20, 1.8 to 1.28, 1.11, and there's a lot of stuff here, guys. You know, we're adding the copper chest, the copper golem statue block, the equipment, the armor, the tools, the decorations, the shelf, which is an interesting one, flashes to the light dimension, which I think is to the end dimension, chat drafts, sound previews to the music, sound, and option sliders, which I won't get into, management protocol, which I won't get into, but we have an in-game code of conduct that were added to support servers, for servers. And then there's a language support. Well, guys, we're gonna start off with the chest and the golem. These do oxidize. They also can be waxed. And then you can be crafted with a chest and 8 copper ingots for the chest, and then a block and a jack-o'-lantern or carved pumpkin on top of a copper block. So that's how you make those things. Really easy, actually. I think they're great. I will say, though, they will oxidize. The copper golems will oxidize over time. And then the radius that they have is a little interesting. They can pick up to 16 blocks of in a stack at a time. And then any item in a copper chest can be picked up. So normal chests do not actually work. So that's something you guys gotta know about this. The copper golem is holding an item. Sometimes, though, it can, or the copper golem will look in chests and trap chests to play. I guess they will. It can place an item in a chest if it's empty, if it contains the same item that it is holding in its hand. And then this one's interesting. The search is horizontally 32 by 8. So 32 blocks by vertically 8 blocks. So you can have a really large storage, and the copper golem can get to it. And that's all it is for the copper stuff. The copper statue is the same way. It also oxidizes. And then it has some poses that you can do, are standing, sitting, running, and star. So that's kind of cool. Here's the sitting. Here's the, I think it's the standing. It might be the star. And then there's the sitting and star, I guess, are there. And then, you can see them like this. Pretty cool stuff, honestly. The equipment, we know of all the copper stuff. It can be used copper ingots. And then the same thing like diamond armor, iron armor, that also goes to the nuggets, and it has an armor toughness of 4. Cool. I also want to let players know, if you are looking for items, the iron chain is no longer the chain. It is now called the chain block. It is no longer the iron chain. So if you're looking for iron chains, it is now looking at the chain block. So just want to let you guys know that is something that you gotta look for. That is something that will matter for builds. It is something that I want to let you guys know. And here's all the copper stuff. These look pretty, guys, like straight up. This stuff looks so pretty. You could totally make like a little town out of all this stuff. Kind of rusted, like a Rust Belt city in the United States. That's something I might actually go do, honestly. Alright, so now we have the shelf. Any of these variations of wood can make the shelf. It will be in 6. It can also be crafted 6 matching blocks of any stripped log, the stripped stem, or the blocks of stripped bamboo. And so you can fill the top just like a normal shelf, etc., etc., etc. Pretty common. When the shelf is powered by redstone, the front texture changes to reflect that it's powered. So that's pretty cool. When powered, up to 3 shelves will connect to each other. So pretty cool on that. I think this is really interesting. It does not matter which of the connected shelves the player interacts with. So it's always going to be connected. Lightning rod now oxidizes. The end now has some light. And there is the hide sky flashes accessibility setting in that for you guys, that if you don't like it, so you can, good job Minecraft for giving us that option. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Here's the code of conduct. That they're, accepting the code of conduct is required to play on the server. If the code of conduct changes, it will be shown again. So there's a code of conduct that servers have. They have obviously went through all this, etc., etc., etc. And then here's some changes. The chain block's now the iron block. Monster spawn eggs are no longer spawn in peaceful mode. This is mostly for admins. Just want to let you guys know that's a thing. And then changes to world loading spawn chunks. I don't know how that'll affect Bloom SMP, but I think they already got that stuff figured out by now. Previously, the world would only apply if a player was in the dimension or a chunk was force loaded. So, dimension that has any player activity, force loaded chunks, active portals, or ender pearls in flight will be considered active chunks, and we'll keep processing chunks and entities. That's just something that is technical. That's about it for this. There's more loading and respawn stuff, but that's about it practically. I mean, mob spawning, the logic is choosing type of equipment for mob spawning with equipment has been tweaked to add copper. So now you get copper items as well as the other armors that you get. I think that's all. Oh yeah, they changed the copper trapdoor recipe to use 4 copper ingots instead of 6. That actually matters. I don't know if you. I think some of you guys will be very happy about that. So it now yields 1 trapdoor instead of 2 trapdoors. So that is technically a nerf to the trapdoor. Just want to let you guys know on that one. UI doesn't really matter. Display doesn't really matter. Here's the accessibility. Technical changes don't matter. So we can just jump over to the 1.20, 1.10 now. We do have probably bug fixes though. I gotta jump. Oh, and here's a whole slew of bug fixes. I'm not even gonna go into all of these. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through these, for a couple seconds, let you guys kind of look through them, and then there's a lot of stuff here. Height limit warning message is shown when the right clicking at the top of the build height limit with a bucket. So that's good to know that stuff like that still happens, although that was already kind of a thing. Enchanted books have wrong rarity apparently. So a lot of stuff getting fixed. That was probably like 150 bug fixes. And then 1.21.10 is just a very small bug fix. The one I will say is entities in cobwebs clip through pistons. We weren't even on 1.20 and 1.10, guys. So like this doesn't even apply to us at all. But there could be some form of like blocks that could be. There might be some form of like block glitching or something with powder, snow, and cobwebs. So that got fixed. Just jumping over to 1.20, 1.11. This has got some stuff as well, guys. The Nautilus, Zombie Nautilus, Nautilus Armor, Camel Husks, Parch, Spear Weapons, Zombie Horses are now spawn naturally. And then you got the texture and filling and this other filling. And then you have the horse armor that can be obtained by upgrading diamond horse armor to a netherite horse armor with a smithing table. Nautilus is now a new mob. It spawns in all ocean biomes. We'll probably only be able to find them in the farm world though, guys. So just want to let you guys know they can attack pufferfish apparently. They apparently take suffocation damage on land. That's good to know. Here's what the zombie Nautilus looks like. So with a trident. Yeah, drowned wielding a trident. Here's what this would. I want to say though, ocean ruins and shipwrecks for long-term players actually became useful again because we can actually go look for Nautilus armor. All players will now be looking for them. The breath of the Nautilus effect now pauses the oxygen. It does not replenish it. Just want to let you guys know on that. So if you are low and you hit a Nautilus and you're able to mount it with like one like bar of breathing, just want to let you know it will not replenish. The Parched, it will spawn at light level 0 in deserts, replacing some of the regular skeletons. So that's actually a really nice addition, honestly. So here's the camel husk, but here's also what the husk itself looks like. It does not burn in the sunlight, so you will actually have to kill it. It's immune to weakness. It shoots weakness arrows, even though it's immune to weakness. That's kind of interesting. It has a slower rate of fire compared to normal skeletons, similar to the bog, and has a chance to drop arrows and bones killed when killed. So interesting there. The camel husk is now a new variation of the camel. That also spawns at light level 0 with 2 riders, a husk wielding a spear, and a parch. That's a really cool mob, actually. I think that's a really interesting one. It does not spawn in caves following the husk spawning rules. It does not burn in sunlight as well. It is hostile if the rider is a hostile mob. It's passive without a rider. So this is all just it cannot be bred, so that's something you guys will need to know. It can be fed rabbit's feet to heal. I don't know why you would ever need to do that. Works with regular camels when ridden or like them. It drops to 3 zombie flesh, which is why you don't kill them. The spear, it comes in all variations, and then you upgrade it. Each material has different stats for timing. We all know that. I will say tournament rules are going to get changed with this, so those who are watching this with tournament rules matter. It does bounce back visually on effect. Zombies, husks, zombified piglins, and piglins can now spawn with the spear. So this is something I think players might be a little confused about. Piglins can spawn with the spear. It's probably just a gold spear, is my guess. But it is something that they can do, and so this actually will help with people who are generally confused, like, wait, this is a thing? Yes, it is with the update. This is not actually a bug. The jab attack looks like this, and then it just explains how to do it. The lunge enchantment might be banned in tournaments. I don't know why. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm going to do an exclusive tournament with just the spear itself, and then we can get a feel for them. Also, want to let players know, the lunge enchantment uses 1 hunger bar, level 2 uses 2, and level 3 uses 3, so that's just something when you use the lunge stuff, it is something that you can know. Added the mob kebab advancement by sparing 5 enemies with a charge attack, so that's kind of fun there. And then changes. This one's a big one, guys. Horses, mules, donkeys, and camels no longer sink in water while ridden by a player. Camels are now a lot easier to bring to your bases, ladies and gentlemen. They are a lot easier to bring. Same with donkeys and mules. They are significantly easier to get. So, and skeleton horses will still stink because, you know, it's just bones. That's a big change, guys. That's a huge change actually for Bloom SMP. I know that's like not many players, not many people will matter about this change. This is a big change for Bloom, honestly, especially with the camels and the horses. Those are 2 big ones that players have used in the past trying to get over oceans. We can now no longer have to deal with that problem. It is a fantastic quality of life change, guys. Fantastic quality of life change. Horses, mules, donkeys, camels, horses, camels will not panic if controlled by mobs, so that's really relevant. Parents can now mimic the sounds of these other hostile mobs. And then spawn eggs have been reorganized, and I want to jump to that actually. Zombie horses will spawn naturally first, though. Zombie horses do burn in the sun. Wow, I can't speak apparently. They do count toward the hostile mob cap, so mob farms will be literally changed, guys. Just want to let you guys know, zombie horses will go toward the mob cap. But their behavior is not hostile, unless unless there's a zombie on them. They become persistent when interacting with a player, so I don't know what that necessarily means. They can be tamed as in the same fashion as regular horses and can be mounted. They can be healed using red mushrooms, which is actually really interesting, guys, because I think the red mushroom is one of the most useless things in the game. Having a use for them actually makes it really enjoyable for them. It makes the zombie horses really nice, and then it also gives the red mushrooms a use, and I think that's a great change, honestly. Tame zombie horses can be equipped with a saddle. Horse armor protects zombie horses from sunlight. And then here's the life total. They have 12.5 hearts. And then they're variable with the spawning, and the same thing, you just don't kill them. And then zombies that are riding have a chance to give a red mushroom on death. They will only spawn, though, in the plains and savanna biomes, and then the rider will always have an iron spear, so that's interesting. Here's a whole bunch of advancements that got changed. How do we get here? Best friends forever, parrots in the bats, 2x2, monster hunter. Updated a throwaway joke taking and it spreads with these other mobs. And then here's something for the creative inventory. This is mostly for people who actually are like in who are in creative, like admins, helpers, staff members. Guys, this is a big change, and this is how it actually goes now. It goes farm animals, mounts, pets, wild animals, aquatic, miscellaneous, golems, villagers, undead, spiders, monsters, illagers. These are the spawn eggs that are now sorted in the creative inventory in the overworld. So it goes this thing. This is something that it'll get some that you guys get used to, and then the nether and the end are after that in order of operations. That's about it, guys. I want to jump over down to the bugs. There's a lot of stuff here, honestly. Like you guys can see, there's a whole bunch of game rules, and I want to actually talk about one more thing. There are graphics presets that are just on the server. Make sure that they're not actually just these are all to true, guys. If you haven't really changed them all that much, just make sure that you do something with it. If you don't like it, just want to let you know these graphics presets are just set to true, and they might have been reset. So I just want to let you guys know that could have happened. Other than that, though, like nothing else really matters because the rest of this is world, generation and technical stuff. There's a lot of technical stuff, by the way, and here's a whole bunch of like bugs fixes. The world border can now change, apparently. That's funny. Yeah. Here's a whole bunch of them. I'll let you guys just run through them. That's all of them, guys. That's the 1.21 to 1.21.9 to 1.21.11. I think the most interesting one is that horses, mules, donkeys, and camels can no longer sink in water. And then I want to jump up to this one as well. I gotta get to up here. I think the shelf is interesting, and then there was one other change that I wanted to just know. I think both of these changes are relevant. Like if I can't find it, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it now. I will give me a second. Oh, the iron chain. I think those two are just things that I think you guys should just know. The iron chain is now the chain block. So I think those are just two changes that I think matter to the community pretty hard. And then if you want to, and then the light and flashes, I would recommend if you don't like that stuff, then change them. Yeah. So that's what I would recommend players just getting used to those things. Other than that, like, enjoy Minecraft, guys. Like, my name's I'm a Slinky.